Hey guys, what's up? My name is Matt, and for request of guys at MILICON, we decided to show you wear and tear of an AR-15 rifle of their manufacturing that have passed 15 or even 17-ish thousand rounds in our hands. As you can see, the number of the rifle is D0003, which means it was one of the first MILICON Delta rifles delivered to Poland. The gun was, I think, 99 or at least 98% of the time it was running suppressed. There were two types of suppressors used on this rifle. It was one with a flow-through system from Oceania Defense that is also in the MILICON distributorship, and I was recently using the Acheron suppressor, which is a non-flow-through suppressor, which is very effective, but it has a pretty massive blowback, to be honest. So the gun went suppressed from all the time. I mean, it went suppressed almost all the time. The thing with the suppressor and with the adjustable gas block is that I basically built this rifle. I mean, I set it up to work with suppressor only. So this gun was not meant to work without a suppressor, which means also that you have to take into consideration that the use of the internals here, it may be influenced by the proper gas adjustment that I'm using. So, other rifles may vary. I'm just being frankly with you guys, but still consider this as really a great gun, which is super reliable. I have used it through all the tactical competitions that I have participated in through past year. I mean, I use it on all my classes. This is my main go-to rifle right now. I'm not the very cleany guy when it comes to guns, especially ARs. I don't really see the sense. I'm having multiple weapons in my arsenal, and if I can, I just pick something else. And the thing is that what we do in the company, what we deal with is testing equipment until it breaks. That's what we basically do. This is why my testing may be harsh, but it's efficient and proficient, and it gives back pretty decent feedback. So let's open the gun. So yeah, as you can see, it's not that dirty, to be honest. So yeah, it's a bit dirty, but we can leave it here for a moment. And we can go through the BCG, which is pretty important. I mean, I think we can agree that when it comes to the usage of the parts, the wear and the tear of the parts, I think we can agree that the lower receiver is not the thing that we are interested in too much, as there is not much things that can break. This is the part that we are interested in. Okay, so we can see here that it's not like it's not the cleanest BCG that you have ever seen, but I don't really think that it's is the dirtiest one as well. As soon as this guy just falls out, everything's fine. Okay. Yeah, got it. We got it. Yes, great success. Okay. So the first thing that we're gonna check is how the BCG behaves without any lube, without anything on it, and we will just take off the dirt of it to see how hard is it to get the dirt off the coating, which will tell us a lot about the quality of the coating. So as you can see, the rails are like are live clean. So, but we will come to that in a minute, which is good. So I think we can agree that there is absolutely no wear of the part. A part of the rails that you can see here, and of course around the gasket, which is totally normal. So you can see how it works. However, we can also see something very important right here. Let's use some solvent. So some people say that you shouldn't scrap the bolt, but to be honest, for the testing gun, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, it makes all these procedures a bit faster. Last time I cleaned the guy, I didn't scrap the bolt, and it was around 7,000-8,000 rounds ago. So what I want you to see is that there is like a normal wear of the part. You can see that there is some kind of oxidation. So it's normal thing that the carbon that was there, it happened to, you know, to do the small damages a bit. However, to be honest, I mean, as for a person that doesn't clean the gun, like almost at all, I don't see there is anything wrong with it. I have seen bolts that have been like almost broken apart, like, you know, through after a couple thousand rounds from worse companies. I mean, this bolt, it really runs flawless, and it has no issues whatsoever, and this is nothing. Next things are the signs on the bolt head. You have to see it because it's very impressive. It's perfectly clean, perfectly flat. There are almost no signs on the lugs when it comes to the corners. To be honest, there are none, which means the bolt, it gets perfectly into the chamber and it has a perfect lock every time. You can see there are no signs on the corners whatsoever. Everything works here perfectly. So this is pretty impressive, because it means also that the BCG and the root of the cam pin are perfectly measured, they have perfect fit, and everything works just as it should be. Now, if you will take a look at BCG, you have to be aware that there are some parts of it that should be in a different color than the rest. So we have these rails here, right? So they should be taken out, like worn out in an even mode, let's call it like this. So evenly, they should be taken out. And as you can see, it happens here. So we have all of these taken in a very similar way on the both sides here, and also on the upper part. You can see that everything is worn perfectly, everything works nice. On the gas key, which is made from a bit different steel than the BCG itself, you can see that there is a bit more use that you can see. Also, if you will take a look at the gas key, you can see that it got beaten up, I guess, with the gas tube. We will take a look at the gas tube in a second. Gas tube itself, you can see that it's maybe it's moved slightly to the side, but I'm not really sure. But if I will take a look at, yeah, I mean, there is something that happens that the gas tube doesn't go perfectly inside the gas key. However, please be advised that this gun went through 15,000, like minimum, I guess, almost 17,000-ish rounds went through this rifle, which is completely normal that there are some signs of use. The gas key is a part I had to change in a couple of my other BCGs. It happens. Usually what happens is that the gas key, it gets loosened up, and then the rifle itself doesn't cycle properly because there is a gas leakage. It's not sealed anymore. Here, the gas key, it's like there's no way I can move it. Everything is tipped up here. However, the beating up that you can see here, it gives some concerns, but not too much. Okay, so we have to be aware that the gas tube itself is also steel, so they interfere with each other, and it happens. It's not that bad, and what's important is that we can see this, but there are no signs of this issue in the rifle functioning. The cycle is constantly perfect. So just coming back to the bolt quickly. So the extractor and the ejector, so the parts which are pretty important for ejecting the empty casing from the gun, they do work without any issues right now. Usually you have to swap the springs of the extractor, couple thousand rounds, sometimes the extractor itself. The same thing comes to ejector and ejector spring. However, this little fellow, you can see being pushed. I mean, usually you have to change it every 10, 15,000 rounds, not more often, if the gun works okay. And here the bolt, it doesn't even seem to have any problems of functioning. Just a quick note, you can see that the pin for the firing pin, it has a little bend, but really, really small one. And it's the factory one. Usually they look like this. So that means that the weapon itself, it wasn't so overgassed during this whole cycle, just to be frankly with you. Because if it would be overgassed, the firing pin would hit this pin and it would bend it more. So you can just see that it has been properly gassed through this whole span time. Okay guys, let's take a small look into the upper receiver, which is complete disaster when it comes to cleaning. I mean, it's dirty as hell. I really don't. Period. As you can see, I'm not the guy, but I think that well-made gun, which is properly gassed, it should be extremely reliable when it comes to AR-15s in these times. This is not a gun which I expect to be like fragile. So I just lube it, run it, gun it, and that's it. Which can be seen, I guess, here pretty well. I hate cleaning this part. So as you can see, we have a couple of things which are which you have to see. Right here we have this part, the silver one, which is worn out by the charging handle. So this is something we do not really have any influence on. I mean, this thing depends on the charging handles itself. This is still, of course, a Lego gun, but it has some small tolerances which have to be tolerated. So this is something we have to be aware of. As you can see, the gas tube itself, it is perfectly straight right here. It has the same amount of space in both sides, which makes me wonder a bit, to be honest. But I know that the gas tube was also exchanged. I mean, I swapped it. And I don't really think if I paid attention to the gas key when I did it, I don't really know if this thing is a new thing or the old thing. So I really can't tell you that. So because on the gas tube itself, you cannot see any sign of beating, any. It's like, it's perfect. The gas tube here, it's perfect. And it has went through with this BCG, it has went through at least 10K, this gas tube. So that's pretty tricky. So what do we have to see here is this one thing that you can see here. I'm not sure that you can see this ditch right here, the cam pin. Oh, there is a bit of dirt here. Oh my God, just a slight bit. So you can see that the cam pin way was a bit rough in here. It's very hard for me to say if it's good or bad, because we have went through many AR-15s from different manufacturers, and to be honest, we have this type of thing in every upper receiver, every single one. I think it just happens. I mean, I think just it is what it is. This is what is. This is how the wear of this part is, and this is how it looks like, because we have it in every upper receiver. We have a gun that has like 80,000 rounds through it, and it has exactly, I mean, not the same. This thing is like 3 times bigger, I mean, longer and deeper. So it has absolutely no. I don't really think it has anything to do with malfunctions or something. Also, the thing that we thought that maybe it can be unsafe, but we don't really see what can be unsafe there, as the cam pin itself is led by the BCG. So if all dimensions there and the gun still works with with the go and no-go gouge. I mean, it doesn't let the no-go gouge through, so we don't really see any issues with this thing. And also you can see, you can take a look that this ditch, I mean, it's like cut like perfectly, amazingly. It looks like it was supposed to be here. Yeah, so just for the record, there is a wear and tear sign right there when it comes to upper. And this is the only sign that we have seen through this rifle. We will just take a small look into the chamber, but we have to see whether without the borescope there is no sense whatsoever to make some like incredibly fair assessments. For me, I mean, the guys, they give, I think, like 20 or 30,000 guarantee for the barrel to, I mean, to endure. That's the one thing, but I think it will still keep its parameters. And to be honest, it still fires 1 MOA groups without a bigger deal. I mean, I know how to shoot my gun, and I know my gun quite well, and I'm not like the worst shooter in the neighborhood as well. So I think I can just fire the gun pretty okay, and boy, this thing really keeps it up. So there is no sense for me to worry or to look for anything else for my go-to rifle for now. Yeah, so that's about it. Okay guys, thank you for your time, thank you for watching. We hope that we have delivered you some kind of useful knowledge about a proper wear and tear in an AR-15 platform. Based on this, you can also see if your currently used AR-15 is is wearing out properly, if there are maybe some points that require a bit more of your attention. Thank you so much, stay safe, train accordingly, and see you next time.